Hello and welcome to Dungeons and Dragons: A Darkened Wish, Season 3, Episode 9. 9. The end of something simple. Let's meet our heroes, and I will go in the order in which you are on my. We'll go reverse order. We will start. You know what? We will go in order of the freshest hairdos. Now the freshest done. Starting with you, Sam. Yeah.
Always easy, never simple. Hi, I'm Sam Leve playing Aiden, the Asmar Rogue.
Yesterday, Jason Carl said to me, stay positive, but test negative. And I was like, Alcuin.
Hey, I'm Alcuin Gersh, and I'm playing Rayonde, the Dragonborn Shadow Monk.
Excellent. May.
Hi there, I'm Mayleigh Damage, and I will be playing Helene, the human wizard / warlock.
Aki.
I was wondering if I would end up being last by virtue of simply not having hair. But
that would have been harassed. That would have been harassed of us, and it's because D'Artagnan is like rocking like real Jesus realness over there. You know what I mean? Like, yay, I say unto thee. You know, so
it's very fair. Hi, everybody. I'm Aki. I play your twin Karrin and Kerrin, the Wood Elf clerics.
And last, but certainly not least in freshness, D'Artagnan.
Hello, my name is D'Artagnan, and no one cares about my hair. All right, I'm playing Xander, the human fighter. Ha ha ha! Duke time, Duke Central. Let's get it.
You know, the problem is because your hair blends into the chair in the backdrop. Like, it's like the true majesticness of it is like being like kept from us.
It's just my face. Is all you see.
and we care very much about your hair. We all have lovely hair, and
I meant that in jest.
I'm getting like a sort of early DiCaprio realness from you here, D'Artagnan.
That's true.
Yeah,
if you could just turn your
hairdresser.
If you could just, first of all, that's LA for you. But if you would just turn your head slightly to the left there, so everybody can get
This
the profile.
way?
There it is. Yeah, exactly. See, it's all coming in over there now. Exactly.
You have a perfect comparator. I was just thinking magazine cover.
Oh, perfect. It's funny you say that. I was never on a magazine.
Yeah.
Not even Pollina Monthly.
Because you just went straight to OnlyFans behind the paywall, baby. Like skip.
You gotta pay for that.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
Never.
You don't understand the that's a whole can of worms you're opening up there, D'Artagnan. You mentioned OnlyFans, and people will probably come screaming like in droves.
I said what I said. I will set up a coffee that you can just donate straight to him. Like, you know,
Doing a discount today. It's 60% off, so it's free.
Who doesn't love It's just all I'm saying.
You know, we're all being quite jovial about this, but you know that we're in a lot of trouble, right? Like our characters.
That's exactly why we're trying to procrastinate and make jokes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, wait a minute.
I know not what you mean.
I love your children and the devastation that I'm about to wrought upon them. Again, as I've got Congressman Kenthraxis here with me to pick up where we left off last week, which I did not. For once, I will not ambush a recaptain. I will just give a quick overview of you all had sailed up the coast of Snowden, up the northeast coast towards an area that was hidden in some sort of supernatural shadow. You had located the presence of a dracolich there, and through some quick thinking of the Red Wizard, Helene had chosen to approach through the ethereal plane rather than head on. Through some excellent diplomacy on your part, and quite frankly, very shoddy insight rolls on my part, essentially convinced Kenthraxis that you all were not worshippers, but respectful of Kenthraxis' supreme power, and just really wanted to see them thrive and benefit in the Moonshay Isles. And over the course of your interactions, a certain member of the ruling family of the islands did promise to advocate on Kenthraxis' behalf if Kenthraxis were to fight for you. You realize there were at least 3 ships from the nation of Alm on the Sword Coast, which, while not friends, at least weren't actively enemies, but would not call friends, had dispatched a number of people there to essentially beg Canthraxis to enter into an armed conflict that he didn't quite ask you what they were. He didn't tell you what it was they were asking him to do, or at least as of yet, you have not asked. But they were basically asking Canthraxis to fight for them. You all, through a combination of your own bravery and the, shall we say, indiscriminate application of lightning breath, 3 of their ships were destroyed, sending their sailors down into the briny depths. And in response for your heroism, Canthraxis said he would share a piece of information with you that was vital to your understanding of what was taking place here. Because I am a terrible person, I've all shared with all of them off camera what it is Canthraxis told them. And now you all are there with this great blue dracolich, having just punched down through the deck of this ship and pulled out a handful of treasure and claiming all 3 of these treasures for himself. Looks at you all in your stunned faces after he's told you what he's told you and says, "It seems you have a branching path, mortals. I, of course, will remain eternal no matter what you do. But it should at least break the monotony of this existence temporarily." And beats his decaying wings and pushes off the ship and flies back into his cave in the midst of those 4 odd columns, encircles slightly and simply lays down to all the whirl, appearing like a rotten, inert dragon corpse.
This was definitely what I expected when I suggested we go here.
Yeah, not me, but still very enlightening. So what do you guys think?
Well, I mean, knowing what we do now, I feel like Lady Ordolf's assistance may be more valuable than ever.
I agree.
Yeah, but not on behalf of Eliza, right? We're clear on that?
Oh, no, not at all, no.
Okay, cool. Hey, I don't know, maybe y'all...
When have I ever given any indication that I would just sell myself to the highest bidder?
I mean, you do work with her.
Speaking of which, Xander, did you make a deal with the dracolich?
Well, yes, but here's my thinking behind it. It can't be worse than Eliza's deal. So what do we got to lose? Plus, we get his help when we need it, which is more than Eliza's offering. I think we're proficient enough to take down the dracolich in case it goes south, personally.
Well, and any conflict between Eliza and Canthraxis might result in Canthraxis being horribly injured. I mean, we don't know that he's going to win.
Why don't we walk and talk? Let's just walk and talk now.
You mean swim and talk? Because we're going back to the submersible, right?
Speaking of enlightening, just the breath. Like, what? Well, recall the agreement you all had with Spark. He did give you all a couple of stones with light cast on them. And just essentially when you were ready for him to come back, throw it in the water. He would see the light and he would raise the Nudibranch.
It's like a flare, but with less flair.
And it
Yeet.
Recall when last you saw the Nudibranch, it had harpooned the side of one of the ships from and like thrown it reverse to rip one of the side planks off, hastening its sinking. And mere moments later, you do see the Nudibranch come back up, and at the front, the harpoons do still have kind of jagged hunks of wood on the front of them, and the top flips open, but you hear a voice from inside say, Captain with request to remain hidden Aboard, sir.
Granted. I'm gonna hop in.
Right when you hop in, you see Spark there, literally covered in gold and finery. He is wearing necklaces that hang down to his waist. He has bracelets and bangles pushed up his arms. He has so many rings on his fingers, they barely move. And there is what you immediately recognize, Aiden, to be as much gold as he could carry in his goblin arms, essentially just like dropped on the floor in coins in things near the back of the submersible. He says, after I'd acquired these, I heard something about, I declare
I need no explanations.
Right.
I just need you to know that I'm proud of you.
I'm just going to pay your
All right, everyone, come on in.
And as you all get in,
This much?
well, it's you know, you tense the core and you just like kind of like, yeah, right.
You're really carrying there. Oh, that circlet must be fucking.
You all see the exact scene that Aiden showed. This aging goblin with his long grayish black dreaded goblin hair, just loaded to the gills in gold and jewelry.
I like your digs.
Oh, these were all things that were already aboard and not at all taken from what is newly a dragon's hoard.
Yeah, I definitely remember seeing all of this.
Yes. Yeah, I kept it in the. This is my battle garb for when I have to strike fear in the hearts of enemies. This is right.
I can see how that would work.
What are the chances we find so much more of that exact same stuff now at the bottom of the ocean?
Lower than you would think, dear elves. There's not much left at the bottom of the ocean, but okay, we should. He like pulls the lid shut and like spins, which you can tell is actually a wheel from a ship that has been attached to it to like cinch up there. And he's like, yeah, I remember that last time. I almost set off without doing that and drowned us all. Captain, with permission, I don't know where we're headed to next, but could we be not here as fast as possible?
Granted, yes, we're returning to the Wish.
Excellent. And he turns and he goes towards the panel and he stops and he looks at you, Helene, and he says, hey, what's up?
I lean down closely into his ear and go, you know, I could shrink you again and take every single one of those coins.
That is not the right answer. And he pulls a lever and the sub immediately plummets. So much so that your feet come off the ground. And he's like, what's up as you are? So immediately down. And he goes,
oh, that made my ears pop.
Yeah.
I love this day.
Yeah, I would say normally you chew on something, but I was afraid it would be me. But we're just gonna, all right. And you feel the Nudibranch begin to like tilt and immediately shoot off back in the direction that you all came, back towards the Wish. What would you all like to do while you're in transit?
We're heading to Lady Ordolf now, right?
Well, theoretically, my understanding, you're going to rejoin Aiden's vessel is the order that was given.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, now is as good a time as any, as seen as which there is probably not a more discreet place to have the conversation that we need to have about what it is we're going to do.
Yeah. Rayonde, do you know about this Ordolf at all?
No, but I've had my suspicions about Lady Eliza for quite some time, and I feel like any elven queen with the type of powers that she might have and her potential armies or spellcasters might be just the thing we need when confronting a creature like Lady Eliza.
Kerrin, how difficult do you think this would be to convince her to rally to our cause?
Well, given what we know about her, she does believe that she is a tool in the in some sort of great cataclysm or struggle. So I feel as though if we could convince her that this is that struggle, she would probably be more than happy to be involved.
I like that. Well, next question. Out of curiosity, is there a way that we could maybe get to her faster than normal?
Almost certainly, but we'd have to spend some time looking through what we have.
Hey, Captain, those the wings and rocket booster modifications to the Nudibranch that I mentioned, those are purely theoretical. There's roughly a 20% chance of success, 80% chance of failure. Of
That's
that
pretty good.
failure, but a 40% chance of cataclysmic failure. She's meant to go under the waves, not through the air. But I'm working on it. If you want to test it, all right, you know.
I could always
going
zap
to
us
get
back to
there?
the Ethereal realm.
Well,
You can take us to the where? To the what now?
Don't worry about it. Small thing. I mean, we moved faster then, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it. How would that work?
Oh, just
Oh.
like how the time thing, like it was different. We moved super fast over there by the dracolich, and faster than they did.
And you,
I mean, that was okay over a short distance, but I'd feel a bit naked going all the way to Lady Ordolf, just, as we are. Could we take the entire ship, perhaps, with us?
Theoretically, it seems like it would be possible.
I mean, I think that's a good idea. I think we should try that then.
We should definitely do that.
Do you
But not
need
forget about the
anything,
plans
or-
of the wings and the rockets. I think there's promise in it, and I think you need to keep working on it. Not today. Maybe not tomorrow.
Captain. If I may, word, Captain. When you're in the line of work that I'm in, the chance of becoming sort of a restless dead ghost ship crew member is not zero, low but never zero. Low but never zero. Are you suggesting we become a ghost ship?
Look, I understand that if we become a ghost ship in perpetuum, the whole crew has to take a vote on that. I understand ghost pirate law. But this isn't that. This is temporary ghosting. Like, that cute thing on short leave.
Like when you don't return my parchments. No, I understand. I thought you were busy. It's okay. Well, I mean, she's your vessel, sir. We'll all serve to whatever end. I just
Look, think about it. It's a taste for it. It's a sampling. How do I like this? Do I maybe want to go long-term into a ghost ship kind of contract? We get to feel it out. See, well, I mean, I don't know how much we'll actually be feeling, but you feel things there.
and
Ethereal things.
you trust this red wizard person to do it? Because I mean, she's hot, clearly, but I mean, Captain, obviously, come on, Captain.
Literal fire kind of hot. So keep that part in mind. Do I trust her broadly? No. Specifically, yes, very good at ghostifying, ghostification, and ghostinating. There we are. I found it. It took me a minute, but it was worth the journey.
I'll in ghostinating. Okay, I could create an ghostinator when this is done. Oh, by the way, gonna go up a little slower. Otherwise, you get bubbles in your blood and it kills you. So we're going up a little slower. And you all can see out the view that the ship is rising based on the silted things going by.
Is there anything that you might need for this to work properly? Helene or Kerrin? Karrin.
I mean, we're more than happy to assist in whatever way we can. We have the ability to do that as well. But in the interest of making sure all three of us have what we need in the event that things go awry with Lady Ordolf, how are you feeling right now, Helene?
Let me just ask one quick question that might affect this. Karrin and Kerrin, give me an Arcana check.
Sure, boss.
You all might know a relevant thing.
Well, I rolled a natural 20, so I would hope so.
Yeah, you do. You super do. Again, those of it, hopefully you've been with us on this journey for a while, but we only play with one house rule that a 1 always fails and a 20 always succeeds, even on a skill check. Karrin and Kerrin, I will 30. Say with a natural 20, that's actually a 33. I'll give you 2 pieces of information that you can do with as you will. You are aware of stable teleportation circles on Gwyneth that are like bullseyes that you can transport to, if even through the planes, if you are aware of their location. And with a roll that high, quite frankly, you are. You are aware of one near the docks, where you could kind of slingshot the ship to. You're also aware of one further inland that would require you leaving the ship, but put you all much further into the lands of Gwyneth. Theoretically, if you were going to encounter some sort of resistance at the pier or at the docks, you might circumvent it. There's also the chance that if a bunch of outsiders suddenly appear, it could be perceived as an act of war. But I will say, with that much success, you all would be able to guide Helene, with her plane shift, could take you to either place. It's kind of like down on the ground. You're sort of like a diagram. You're like, so sort of like these are the runes, and it's kind of like the coordinates of it. Like, I can hit that. Okay, yeah, okay. Yes. Sorry, that is information you all possess.
So, at the very least, we have a place to aim.
Yeah, that's actually extremely helpful. So did you want to go more inland? I feel like, just me, but I feel like that might be smarter. Not that I'm not up for a fight, but I feel like the quicker we get in and out of there and get this done, probably the best.
I mean, we're still taking the entire ship, correct? I mean, once we are incredibly successful in convincing Lady Ordolf that we have a common enemy, she might want to send some folks with us, and we might need a way to transport them and keep them near us. Not that she doesn't have ships, but, I'm really attached to this ghost ship idea. Aiden?
I'm attached to my ship. I don't want to leave the wish behind.
So we take the long way.
Sounds like
the short way, but then the long way.
The longer short way.
Yes, the longer short way. So we'll
I'll take us there.
We show up on our cool ship coming out of the mists into the harbor. I mean, I'm not elven, but I feel like, doesn't that appeal to your sort of aesthetics?
I agree with Rayonde.
You might be surprised what appeals to our aesthetics.
That's true. People have very interesting tastes.
A silence over the submarine.
Whenever you're ready, Captain.
You feel the submarine submersible docks right back up into the wish. The panels close underneath it, and of course, the water sort of leaks out from the bottom, as you expect it always to. You sort of get up and make your way back out as a Spark kind of throws some of the gold back into it and kind of pulls the netting and cargo things and make it looks like, again, it's just sort of another hunk of stuff over at the edge of the hold. And he's just sort of like, it has been an honor serving with you, Captain.
I know it has, and I just tuck a little piece of that gold chain just a little farther into his pocket.
Yeah, it's found this whole thing. It just I must have dropped it.
I'm sure you did, buddy. Thank you again. Well done. Now, I have to go have a very unpleasant discussion with my first mate. Bros, I have an idea you're gonna hate.
Captain, you should move quickly. Something terrible's afoot.
How did you already know? And I make my way up to see.
As you all sort of make your way up towards the deck, presuming you all make your way up towards the deck, the whisper, or the wish rather, is already a massive activity, Aiden, that you immediately recognize as they're getting to battle stations. There's not a lot of noise. There's not a lot of chatter. Everybody's moving into position to do what they know how to do. And Braz and a couple of others are kind of lined up on the side of the ship with looking glasses out towards the horizon.
I grab my very fancy captain hat and I grab the spyglass and I look through myself as captains do.
The moment you kind of pull it out, you see a black blur next to you as Salivagant just lands like on the edge of the deck and puts his hand under the spyglass and moves it a little too further to your left. And you hear he sort of leans in and his little kinku beak opens up and you hear a very different voice say, "Right there, lads, you gotta look along in the shadows, eh? They're trying to hide themselves under the mist and darkness of the weather." Give me a perception check, Aiden.
I would love to.
Was he doing to me? Is that what I sound like?
No, me? Is this what I sound like?
Ooh.
I was just impressed. It's uncanny.
It's 25.
At first, you're like, it's nothing. Oh, okay. Wait, there's like a mirage. Like I can sort of see the ripples because it's late in the day now. Because again, you all set out basically just before dawn. Well, you set out just before dawn. You sailed. It's mid-morning. We'll say it's mid-morning by the time all of this has happened. That you're like, well, it could be anything, like it's the ocean. And then you notice in the distortion along the ocean, there's wakes though. The waves should essentially be breaking left to right, we'll call it. But the waves, some of them are breaking, they should be breaking east to west. Some of them are breaking north to south. And you're like, oh, those are ships, but hidden ships. It's hard to make out how many wakes. A dozen or more, possibly dozens of ships. Which is why you see so many people are just like staring, but they're still like getting ready.
Delightful, magical, and far-seeing compatriots. How good are you at seeing things that aren't there? Like there, like not actually there, but actually there. There's something there. Look at the waves. Nope, look where I'm pointing. There.
I mean,
there.
I think if I'm not mistaken, that Xander would still have true seeing on.
Oh yeah, how long is true seeing there? It's like hours.
An hour. It's an hour.
That's good to like what, 120 feet?
Yes.
I will say with the spyglass, it will be good enough, Xander. As the red wizard and the clerics are discussing among themselves magical solutions, you're sort of like, oh yeah, attack fleet. Yes,
I could just zap us out of here and kind of ignore all of them if we want to try and do that. Unless you want to fight. But I mean, I feel like there's more pressing matters at hand than dealing with like...
I just want to know what we're running away from, and then we run away from it.
And where they're headed before we go.
Those two things. Information,
smarting,
then evacuation.
Mm-hmm. Helene makes a valid point. But yes,
it's an fighting fleet, right? That's what you just said?
Yeah.
It's an armada. An armada.
Oh, Armada. It's almost there. Armada.
That's pretty good. And you're relatively sober, so I'm impressed.
Yeah.
As long as it's not an nom nom armada, I think we'll be fine.
It still might be. TBD. Whether or not it is an nom armada or not. Yes.
Those are my favorite. But the armada is not as high in that list. So maybe we should. I mean, how much stuff you got on this fantastical ship of yours?
Give me Duke Xander. Give me
Give you whatever you need.
Whatever you like in a legally distinct way. Okay. Give me which is higher for you, history or insight?
Insight for sure.
Give me an insight check.
All right, let's see what that does. Well, it's the slowest moving dice ever. Okay, that was weird. I was using the dice on
D&D Beyond,
and it's going like super slow, but it's 22, so that's not terrible.
You are a man of tactics. You realize a fleet of this size, even just with your cursory glance of the ships and their makes, this is an occupying force. This is both there's ships for ship to ship combat, but some of those are overtly troop carriers. Like, I mean, they're bringing that is an invasion force.
That's an invasion force right outside of.
It's still
Snowden?
some distance, but it's
it heading towards Snowden, or is it heading toward?
Definitely sailing towards Snowden.
I mean, they could be meeting up with Lady Eliza in order to rendezvous for her to go invade somewhere else. I mean, that would be my assumption.
Yes, Rayonde, you are 100% correct. I don't think you're wrong in that assessment at all. I think we should get out of Dodge as fast as possible and get some allies. And I'm sure the sleeping dracolich might help us, but
the what?
You
see, Roz pulls down the looking glass and looks at you and is like, "You've been out in the sun too long, mate."
He's very confused. Please ignore what he just said.
Yes, ignore that.
Captain. Not a bloody dracolich, Captain.
Hey, there are two possibilities here. You can live in a world where you didn't just hear that, or you can live in a world where we're dealing with dracoliches. And which one would you rather be? It's what I thought. So we need to get to ghost stations very quickly. They're like battle stations.
Ethereal?
Did you offer our souls to the dracolich or something?
No.
Oh, no. I don't want to presume any of us have one. But if I did, I'd get you such a good deal on your soul. You don't even know. Anytime. You just say the word.
Captain, is one thing I will say. This has been the most unique vessel I've ever heard the privilege of serving aboard. Yeah.
True. And
didn't promise you a good time.
Say what, Helene? Sorry.
Said true. It's a wonderful vessel, and if you'd like to keep it, we should probably speed things up a little bit.
Aren't you the one?
To see the ghost ship.
Yeah, aren't you doing that though?
Yeah. Are you gonna hit it, Helene?
If the captain says it's time.
Well, since battle stations and ghost stations are almost identical, yes, my crew is in fact all ready to go.
What's your cool catchphrase? Is it like punch it or like engage? Like, I feel like we're not really doing it unless Captain, you say your cool line. If you haven't got one yet, we can workshop some. But
Solivigant opens his mouth and you hear "Allons-y" and closes it.
That works. And Helene will shift us.
I will say, with the assistance of Karrin and Kerrin, in that incredible roll that they made. You are able to pull the ship over. Technically, plane shift is 8 willing creatures. But the whisper or the wish wants to go. She wants to go. The reason why I keep mispronouncing that, by the way, is on Into the Motherlands, the ship is the Whispering Wish. So that's why I'm always like, that's where my mind goes first.
The Whispering Wish.
And if we need a little bit of extra backup on that spell, we also have plane shift prepared. So I'm just saying.
I will say yes. You guys expend the use of plane shift, and Helene expends the use of plane shift, and one of you is pulling the crew, and one of you is pulling the vessel. As you see, sort of the three of them kind of put their hands down and touch the deck of the ship, and you see here murmurs going through the woefully unprepared crew as reality sort of like. It's like it pulls away from you slightly behind that same dusky veil that you all just experienced in the ethereal plane. But you definitely hear sounds of panic start to go all over the ship as they're like, what? Hey, what? Are we dead? But Captain, are we dead?
You are not dead. We're ghosted. It is temporary. Everything is going according to plan. Remember, I did not promise you a good time. I did not promise you a long time. I promised you an interesting time. And here we are. Ghost riding the ship.
I lean over to Aiden and I go, see that look in their eyes? That's the part I was most excited about. That confusion.
And as you all start to think, just even intending, especially you, Helene, Karrin, and Kerrin, that the vessel be on its way, you see the sails just fill up with a wind that no one feels blowing, and just it just erupts forward, and you see the shoreline of Snowdon and everything around you start to move in a way that doesn't make sense. You're vaguely aware of the surroundings, but they're both further away and moving much faster than they possibly should. All of you give me a perception check.
23.
14.
18.
Hold on.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. As you all
Still got the
are,
spyglass.
still got it.
Yeah.
And that's what you're saying, yo. Is who I know Xander got a natural 20, but who else got over 20? Okay.
Reliable talent.
Excellent. As you guys are like whipping along, you notice actually Karrin and Kerrin, what did you all get?
It was a 14.
Well, yeah, you guys are kind of like cool, move to the ether, dope. Xander and Aiden, as you all are near the prow of the ship going full king of the world up there, I'll leave it up to you who's holding up who. Flying.
I'd really like to be held.
Never
You
in question, buddy.
see in the water up ahead, you see a colossal whale, an almost impossibly big whale, that is jet black. It is 350 feet long, and has a mouthful of razor sharp teeth. It is swimming and just like crests slightly and goes back under the water, but is very much, you see its hump near the surface.
I've been holding Xander forward, and when we see this marvelous thing, I just kind of pull him a little closer and then wrap my arms around and put my chin over his shoulder to look at it with him.
I like this.
Both of you adorable boys, give me either history or religion.
Nine.
9. Love it.
9.
9.
6? I didn't stay in school very long.
So
I just appreciate both of
And
you are
this,
like,
and this is why the twins.
I just appreciate you guys are just
why
like,
we need a
dang old rig big whale, man. It's a
Yeah,
big,
it's a
dang old whale.
That's a big whale out there. I like that.
What are you two looking at?
This whale right here. This whale. I'm sorry, I'm broken.
The
Xander,
most
could you describe
beautiful,
this for
deadly
us?
thing I've seen since Xander.
Once it's pointed out to you, plane shift is not a concentration spell. You all would be able to see it, and as such, can all make religion or history checks when
Yeah,
you lay
I
eyes on it.
I was about to say earlier that I have a passive perception of 21. Just saying.
You're in the middle of something.
Yeah, my passive is 24.
I say as I roll a natural freaking 1.
You know, both Karrin and Kerrin were sort of occupied by the snuggle fest at the prow of the ship that they super said didn't bother them. Like, whatever, but it is like...
It's not that it bothered them. It was just very cute and distracting and not fair while we're trying to concentrate on magic stuff. It's like, how dare you?
A lot's happening.
There's
A lot.
room on the bow.
19.
19 for Helene. Okay.
3 for me, and I have no excuse. I am not trying to do anything else. I am just bad at this.
Helene, it makes sense that you know this because there's all this topside lore that you essentially have been fed as Asmodeus is, and I realize that I alternate myself between Asmodeus and Asmodeus because even I haven't made my mind up. As his sort of like shopping lists of literally the one that got away, essentially, that it's like when he takes over the surface world, like there's a few things he's going to do type thing. In one of them there is a great whale known as the Leviathan, that is one of the direct children of the great mother of the earth itself, Toril, the planet of Earth Mother, rather, of essentially life itself. It exists to defend the seas, and when it dies, it always comes back. Asmodeus is pissed about it because he can never get to it in the afterlife because it doesn't have one. It's just when it's gone, it just comes back eventually. So it's like a phoenix, but a giant whale.
Do I still have a telepathy connection with Asmodeus?
Yeah.
I will reach out to him and be like, didn't you want one of these at one point in time?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll leave it in my house for you. And can I open up my magnificent mansion, like right underneath it as it's diving under? That's a good look. I like that look.
Can a 350-foot whale go into a magnificent mansion? Hold on a
If it
second.
tries hard enough.
I mean, if he can't, how magnificent is this mansion really?
It's false advertising, right? Hang on. Let me see exactly how big the magnificent mansion is.
Just
here to
text
ask all the
Morden Kanan. Text Morden Kanan and ask him.
He ghosted us.
I mean, it's got double doors on the front, right? Quadruple doors, octuple doors. It's magnificent.
Here's the challenge. It's theoretically it would fit inside, but the door is 5 feet wide and 10 feet tall, and it's a whale.
I mean, originally they're that wide, but I feel like if you shove a whale through, there's some breakage involved. But
Yeah, if it's diving,
maybe
there should be some
enlarged,
force.
reduced, followed by Morden Kanan's magnificent mansion.
I was just about to say, what is this conversation? What's happening here?
Yeah, is you like super didn't know. Here's the thing. Okay, Helene, in of a similar school of thought, the magnificent mansion, I don't think you could catch it with because it's got to willingly go in. It's got to want to go in. But what you might be able to do is hit it with banishment and send it back to the prime material plane from the ethereal plane if that's a thing that you want to do.
yeah. You know, I'm gonna do exactly that, and I'm gonna send the telepathic message to Asmodeus and tell him where to pick it up. It'll be right here.
It rolled awfully on its save, so you will see this carcass and the water's just still. Go ship.
He's in a better place now.
Do we know that Helene did this?
I mean, you technically banishment is a verbal and somatic component, so you would have seen her like and it just not be there. Yeah.
I
Guess she
rolled
didn't
a
like it.
21 on my insight. Is that whale in a better place now?
I don't think you want to know that.
Here's the thing. It's not whether or not her statement was factually accurate. It's whether or not she believes it. So I think she is like objectively superior. Yes.
Oh no.
Did Asmodeus get this whale then? I'm just kind of curious.
We'll
I
find
want to
out.
know. Does he have like a giant aquarium with this thing inside?
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Mark Beer a Tarask once. I can give Asmodeus the Leviathan. It's fine.
You're not wrong.
Bailoff the Entertainer still making money off that Tarask.
Yep.
The ghost ship careens through the ethereal plane here, and again, you do see on the waves actual other ghost vessels. Like Spark wasn't wrong about that. Just the listing wrecks of lost ships, still with crews sort of like meandering on the decks of them as you move through here. But as you hurtle past, again, it's almost like you're in almost like you're like in a tube being pulled along faster than normal towards this destination. As you see Gwyneth start to arrive, and even in the ethereal plane, actually, arguably more so in the ethereal plane, Gwyneth is beautiful. The rest of the islands, you see their auras are different. Some of them are very sickly and tainted. Other ones, there's like a sadness, especially because all things being equal, it's a fairly difficult time in the Moonshae Isles right now with the recent social upheavals. But Gwyneth is glowing with life and vibrancy, even as you approach it. And as you all are approaching, Helene, you will have the option, well, you all did work this magic together, to either leave the ship in the ethereal world and depart in the ethereal plane and arguably try and make your way over, or bring it back into the material world, to the prime material plane, and proceed from there.
Before we leave, I would like to state that Aiden and I might have made some pottery down below. That's all.
Is that what the kids are calling it?
I will look over at Karrin and Kerrin and go, all right, so what was the plan? I think that one who seems to be holding a vase for some reason said that they wanted to keep the ship with us as long as possible, but I don't know. What are you thinking?
Well, I think that one way or the other, we do have to leave the ship in order to make it to Lady Ordolf. So I don't really think it matters if we leave it here in the ethereal plane or leave it in the prime material plane. We do have to leave it.
Yes. However, someone's got to tell him. And she points to Aiden and then immediately.
Kerrin just goes, I'll tell him. And, just sort of walks over. Captain?
Yeah?
Just so you know, we do have two choices here. We can disembark now in the ethereal plane and begin to make our way inland, or we can disembark in the prime material plane and begin to make our way inland. But one way or the other, we do have to disembark from the Wish.
Yeah, that's how ships go. Do we get to pick?
I mean, yeah.
Then we should stay a ghost ship. Not just because, ghost ship. Trust me, not just because ghost ship. But time moves all wibbly this way, right? So it's faster, and it means we have an advantage versus the armada. Huh? See, you thought I wasn't being tactful. You thought it was just for ghost ship. No. There's thoughts here. Now, hands like this. Xander. Pottery.
So am I hearing that you all intend to leave the Wish in the ethereal plane for now and you all will disembark? Do you intend to yes, Rayonde, sorry.
Well, I was hoping that we could take a short break, maybe, about an hour of some inactivity, not necessarily sleeping, but, just recharge our batteries.
You would have gotten a short rest in the time it took to get here.
Ah, my key thanks you.
My spell slots, however, do not.
Other question, and this is for the twins being locals. So when I go to meet Lady Ordolf, are we thinking human or dragon? Human or dragon? Do I be honest, or is it going to be a bit disruptive if I'm, dragony? And I'm just taking like my circlet of human perfection on and off.
Well, she does have the ability to take her entire city into the Feywild. Not entirely sure somebody who lives in a land of deception and trickery is going to be all that caring one way or the other.
I mean,
but might not actually be impressed by the attempt.
Well, I mean, she would probably be able to see through it anyway, is what I'm thinking. And so, are we thinking? Is it honesty or is it game knows game sort of thing?
Can we roll?
I would say you all live this enough that she's not particularly a fan of humans. Like it's not necessarily going to him looking human will not necessarily be to his detriment, but it's definitely not going to gain him anything. Yeah. Like I mean, she may or may not be down with the Dragonborn. She really doesn't care about people at all.
Well, first she has to care about you to have an opinion one way or the other. Honestly, I don't think she's going to be all that impressed with most of us. So that's just how she is.
All right, well then I'm gonna go dragon then.
It's a good look on you.
I walk by Rayonde as he changes and put my hand on his shoulder and lean into his ear and go, "Good choice. I like the scales." And then wink at him and keep walking.
I'm blushing. You can't tell because I'm a red dragonborn, but I am blushing.
Slightly redder, there. So
I'm a deeper crimson.
Is it you guys' intention to essentially present yourself at the docks or try and get past the docks?
Well, if we're leaving the ship in the ethereal plane, I feel like we can just kind of shoot past it on the ethereal plane as well and just go right to where that second teleportation circle is.
To go to the basically depart the ship and then kind of go to the second one essentially.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. I know it's not the glorious entrance that some were imagining, but speed is of the essence.
And I arrived on a ghost ship. I got everything I wanted. Let's go.
That is true. Standing, with your boot appropriately on the prow as you were there. You all are making your way across in the ethereal plane, and give me perception checks, all of you. Even you, despite your true seeingness. Xander. It's probably worn off by now.
I think it's worn off.
He got a short rest for an hour, so yeah.
I got a 10. I'm busy watching Rayonde blush.
It's true. It's true.
17.
The scales are it's just the right angle. You can kind of you can catch your own face in them, Helene. And it's kind of like I like it. I see this. I like it. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. 29 for Rayonde. Anybody else get what was that for Aiden? Sorry.
26.
Aiden and Rayonde, as you all are moving through, everything again in the ethereal plane is just to the side of the real world. Like you're aware of real trees, you're aware of creatures and things as you're moving through it. And there are also things that only live here that you can tell. You're like that spectral bird over there. Like that's a spirit bird. That's an actual bird that we can kind of see through the prime material. As you all are making your way through, though, the two of you become aware of the sounds of battle. Something like a fight is happening. You hear the undeniable clink of swords, and people speaking a language that I don't believe either of you understand. But a fight is definitely happening.
Yeah, that language I understand.
That one you understand.
Were we expecting swordplay on this invite? Because I brought mine, don't get me wrong. But I definitely hear jingle jangling, bodies mangling.
You certainly have a way with words.
Away with a few things. So this fight...
Oh yeah, swords, expected, unexpected, battle. Sounds of battle. Hear that?
I think
Sounds of battle.
at the very least, we should be ready.
Well, who could have gotten here before us if these are Lady Eliza's folks?
Let's find out.
Karrin and Kerrin, even though again you all make your home on Gwyneth, it's a significant island. So even though you're on Gwyneth, you're nowhere near home. You are closer to Sarafal, the city that was brought back into the prime material plane, which stands over a great lake on Gwyneth. The city sort of like rose out of the lake. When it disappeared, it sank. When it came back. So it's almost like it's got a gargantuan moat around it now, essentially. But so you're not far from Sarafal, which would probably still be a day, maybe day and a half journey from your home. Yeah.
Can't imagine why there's fighting going on here. When we left, everything seemed fine.
Is this fighting happening in the ethereal plane? Or is it happening?
When it's sort of pointed out to you and you kind of start to like hear it a little bit, you definitely are kind of getting like the echoey, you feel like it's happening in the prime. So much so when you get closer, especially as you all approach more warily, it becomes clear to you that a full pitched battle is taking place in a grove of trees. It is difficult to make out what's happening. You can tell that there's a number of elves fighting and also other strange creatures that you don't necessarily recognize. Karrin and Kerrin can give me Arcana.
That is a 21.
You notice, the twins notice as you're looking that there are a number of creatures that look like they're made out of twigs and bushels and plants that have just like come to life and are like vaguely anthropomorphic that are fighting. But you also notice a couple of elves that are in the conflict that are fighting against other elves, and you can tell from their clothing that these are dark fae. In particular, they would be from a region from the Shadowfell known as the Winterglen Forest. The Winterglen Forest is on Gwyneth, but there is a portal to the Shadowfell there, which is where the Dark Fae reside, basically. Around the time that all of these other Fae arrived, they came back too. These would be enemies of not just Lady Ordolf, but quite frankly, enemies of you all as well.
Well, how's the fight looking? Are they winning? Are they like even matched, or are they
to the rest of you? It's hard to. It's chaos. You're like, it's elves. I mean, the elves are doing elf stuff.
To
like,
a
I don't
tactician,
know.
To a tactician, though, would we know if
you can give me insight?
Hell yeah!
And like it's elf on elf crime right now.
Well. Never mind. I guess it is chaotic.
Yeah.
I got an 8.
Yeah. You're like, I think that guy's doing all right, unless that guy is his friend, and then he's doing terribly. You know?
He's gonna do a bad brawl. All right, you gotta work it out.
You should be able to tell the difference. The Dark Fae have more piercings. They're the goth ones. All the goth ones winning.
It's true. There's a lot of corsets to go around, though. Let's be honest.
A lot of earrings, like laced up and other earrings
playing in the background.
Exactly. They all hate their dads, you know, right?
See Brandon Urie, he's back there.
Yeah. What would you all
to be clear, there's a lot of people fighting, and we don't know exactly who we should beat up so that Lady Ordolf will like us.
Yeah,
Is that what I'm getting here?
I'd say right now, it's fairly evenly matched. You can tell it is kind of 6v6. There's like 2 elves and some plant creatures versus 6 other elves. Essentially, it's the scuffle that's happening right now. And there's dead bodies on the ground where you can see both sides have lost people already.
Kerrin.
Yeah, but like the twins are telling me we don't have specific calls to action about violent action.
Theoretically, the twins are aware that the Dark Fae are Dark Fae and that they are enemies. The rest of you, you're like, I don't know, it's elves being elves, but they're like, no, those elves in particular.
I was just about to ask.
Like, this is Aiden asking, like, so we don't know who we should beat up?
Oh, them. For sure, them.
Them?
I just charge in. Let's go.
I mean, as much as I feel a kinship to these dark fae for this whole aesthetic, I feel like, yes, if we're going to gain Lady Ordolf's favor, let's help the
we should beat up these fae.
Light fae, summer fae. I don't know how these things work.
It doesn't exactly fill us with joy, the fact that there is infighting amongst the elves, but it is what it is sometimes.
We can't
hit
things in the ethereal plane when they're in the prime, right?
Come out of it, yeah. Cool. Like you can see, like especially when you get close to them, it's like very clear what it is. Like you kind of can like look right at them, but you can't interact with them unless you depart the ethereal plane.
Well, I mean, as we're departing, I can use my ninja magic to make us be able to approach the battlefield unseen.
I would like to start swinging and in the ethereal plane, not knowing that I can't hit anything. So I'm just
I appreciate you like that guy. No problem.
It's not working.
We have to leave.
I knew that. I was just making sure that they felt it in their souls that what we were going to do to them. That's, yep. I get back over it. Get ready.
If your goal was Pass Without Trace, Rayonde, I would say you could hit everybody with Pass Without Trace but before you come out. Okay, so you kind of have a fairly evenly matched where, you know, there's a group on this side and a group on that side, and they're kind of like skirmishing, you know. They're a little more mixed than that. It's not like you could easily drop a fireball, and they're kind of mixed up, but it is clear, like, here's the central mass of the conflict. If you all wanted to emerge in it, just give me a quick initiative. We'll just kind of let this be initiative for the whole day here. All right. So Rayonde.
Dirty 20.
Helene. Wait, the TBD for Helene?
I rolled but it came up to 17.
Oh, lost you for a second there, but you said 17? Okay. All right. Karrin.
We might be able to get a surprise round on them, you know, too. So I don't know if that's possible.
Well, we're about to find out. Karrin and Kerrin. Oh, 1?
That's natural one, boss.
That,
we rolling initiative? If we're rolling initiative, it's a 5. But still.
All of the players love you, and all of the characters love all of your characters, and none of your dice are nice to you, and I don't understand. They should be nicer to you.
Xander?
I feel like we're ending this the way we started, with all of my dice being like...
It opens at the close, to be sure, yes. And Aiden?
25.
My spry boy. Although normally Helene is the initiative wrecking ball here, but again, you know, it takes difficulty holding all this like ethereal transportation.
I have advantage on my initiative rolls and a +10 to my initiative. I am quite spry myself.
Oh wait, I also have advantage to my initiative. What the frick?
We'll roll it again, yeah.
Well, that's a little bit better. Now it's a 19.
All right. Yeah, because you're under foresight right now, right?
Oh, I have a short sort of warning.
Ah, yes. Cannot be surprised. It's an important thing.
We saw that earlier. Kerrin had that out.
So
proud.
Very
Thank you,
useful. I have personally benefited from it supremely myself. You will not get a surprise round because even though they don't know that you're there per se, they are aware of the fact that they're in a fight, though. So they're kind of on alert. But Aiden, you are first. Again, there's 2 dark fae and 4 sort of plant creatures.
All right. I'm going to. Is there one that's maybe sort of? Actually, you know what? They're all in a scrum. It is incredibly easy to flank. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm going to go and I am going to find someone who looks fierce, and I'm going to hit them with my sword until they feel not so fierce anymore.
All right, go ahead and roll it.
That's the totality of your boys' plan here. And how do we like?
Rayonde
22 to hit.
Rayonde will be on deck. 22 to hit, you say?
Yes, I do say.
That is enough.
All right. All those clicky clacky math rocks. And
Math rocks.
also this math rock. Ooh, good math rock. We're very proud of you, math rock.
Rayonde, when you come out, you notice it's like, even though it was like a beautiful spring day everywhere else, like here it is like very dark and overcast, and the shadows are very thick and long, giggity, which is quite comfy for you.
Do I see anybody who looks like a spellcaster?
I would say even in the time that you were like examining this, like you've seen both of them perform magic of some sort. They're each armed with a what looks like a staff that they're fighting with. So you've seen them both like engaged in fisticuffs and casting magic, both of them.
These are 2 different dark fae?
Yes.
Okay. And how close are they to each other?
They're about 10 feet apart, and there is one of the Gwyneth elves between the 2 of them.
Okay. Because
While you're making that call, it's a 55 radiant for me, fancy footwork away, and 32 to hide behind some cover.
Perfect. As you appear in Shank, you hear. Can the twins speak Sylvan, by the way?
They can indeed.
You hear a woman's voice just yell out, "Ah, treachery!" when Aiden appears and stabs them. In Sylvan, though. Rayonde, it is your turn.
I think I am going to hit all 3 people with silence. It's a 20-foot radius sphere. So I'm going to center that 20-foot radius sphere. I don't like having any variables of, people casting things they shouldn't be, while Aiden and I are in there doing some work.
Do they get a save against that, or is it just how it is?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a save because it's not cast on a person. It's
right.
In the location.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Silence. Everything.
And then let's see. That's my action. I'm trying to think if there's like a bonus action thing I can do here too that I'd like. I can't use flurry of blows because I need to take the attack action for that. I can shadow step as a bonus action. I mean, am I able to get in combat without using that? Or
I would
my normal movement?
You could depart the ethereal plane wherever you wanted. So I mean, like basically, like I would say you appear in position wherever that is.
Okay, so if I don't need to do that, then I'll use my cunning action to hide.
Okay. But I mean,
right in the thick of everybody, but I'm gonna hide.
Right, but then not be. Got it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're like, perfect. Xander, give me a perception check. You in particular, sir.
Doing that right now. Might have to start rolling real dice right now because this is being really weird right now. I got 8. Wow. Got 8.
Dig it. Okay. All right. You don't notice anything. Seems legit, Duke.
Seems
Perfect.
cool.
Yep.
You got you fired up.
Normal day.
Yeah.
It is Karrin and Kerrin's turn. I feel like Karrin and Kerrin were watching all of this, and like time sort of slowed down for a moment, and then the sword started jingling in its scabbard. It's like, oh yeah, wait, do something. So yes, what are the twins going to do?
Do all of our Shadowfell elves seem to be sort of clustered in a general same-ish area?
Yeah. Again, there is a Gwyneth elf in between them, but they are kind of close to each other. Yeah.
All right. Sorry, fellow Gwyneth elf. You'll be fine. And I'm gonna drop dawn on them.
Okay. Which will do what?
Let's see. Light of the dawn shines down on the location you specifically see within range. It is a 30-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder of bright light, and they take 4d10 of radiant damage. They need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. What's the number they need to beat?
For me, it is a 19, I believe. Yes, it's a 19.
You see the Gwyneth elf just sort of like drives his sword into the ground and like clenches up like and stands his ground. He makes the save, the other two don't.
Great. Love to hear it. Let's see. Oh, crap damage though. Let's 8. Sorry, I'm trying to attempt math, which is always a bad thing to do. That's 20 damage.
Perfect. 20 to each of them.
Yep.
Perfect. Any other effects or just damage?
The creature must also make a saving throw whenever it ends its turn in the cylinder. And if I'm within 60 feet of it, I can keep moving it as a bonus action on my turn.
Okay.
Yep.
And if he made the save, is that half damage or no damage?
Half damage.
Perfect. Okay. Cool. Anything else?
Do not believe I have a bonus action that I can use at this time, so no.
Okay, Xander. Well, you get spiritual weapon.
I already cast a spell, though. Is that okay with you?
Oh, no, you couldn't. You're correct. You cannot. Xander, and then after that's going to be Helene.
Hello. I'd like to do menacing attack and also just chop down the closest bush boy that I can see.
Okay.
I don't know what these plant monsters are. You said they're like a bundle of sticks.
Yeah, it looks like it's almost like a thorn bush just like pulled itself out of the ground and started walking.
All right, I whisper sweetly to my sword, oh God, and it ignites in fire.
Whoosh.
And then I'd shink with the menacing attack. One attack. Okay, 7. Let me just say it. Let me speak English to you. I got too excited.
First, I really get into English. It's true.
22, 16, and 21 is the to hit.
That is hold on, let me just double check something right here. Make sure this is slashing and fire damage you're doing, right?
Yes, it's tasty.
Perfect. It is yummy in the tummy. That is true. What was the lowest one was 16, you say?
16, yes.
Those are all hits.
Those are all hits? Okay. Let me just do this real quick and add right now because I had
1 million damage.
A million damage.
It might be over 100. I'm hoping.
Well, tell me what you got it with the chance cubes. In the meantime, Helene, what are you going to do while we're waiting for his damage?
Is there like a group of enemies kind of clustered together anywhere?
There's nowhere you could hit them without at least one Gwyneth elf being caught in it also.
Well, he should have thought about that plan a little better. That being said, are there any of them clustered together even with a Gwyneth elf in the middle of them?
Both Dark Fae and the one who's in the one Gwyneth elf who is in the middle. You could catch on to.
I would like to take at them and just go, oh, I hope you're a good dodge guy. And I would like to cast Ice Storm.
Okay. Do they have a save?
Which is a dex save of
Dex save.
19.
Are you guys having trouble hearing her as well?
I am.
Okay, all right. I just wasn't sure if that was me.
Sorry.
You're getting robot-y. That's okay. It's a dex save. Okay, hold on. Make this easier for myself and get different kinds of dice. I have rolled
so you know.
just horrifically in all of this, by the way, and it's sort of like, well, there's still no, like that's a 2, a 5, and a 3 is what I rolled there. So yeah, I storm in the face, and yes, what was that damage wise, Xander?
95, and also it has to make a wisdom save, which is 23. If not, it will be frightened. If it's not already burnt alive.
As you smash into this thing and you see branches and bits of it coming off and like it start to catch into flames, Xander, it like looks at you and you hear an odd creaking noise come from it as it turns to try and depart and just comes into pieces. Down on the ground.
This is fantastic. I make a small character. That's my
and just give me the damage when you has, Helene.
It's 29 bludgeoning and 18 cold damage.
29 and 18. Okay. Perfect.
And that whole area becomes difficult terrain after the turn ends. So they will be standing on hailstones, turn the storm areas of effect into difficult terrain until the end of your next turn.
Aiden and Rayonde, both of you roll with advantage because you both said you were getting into it, and she doesn't know where you are, but you both know Helene. So she's like, ha, 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 ha. It's like, oh wait, oh no.
What's the save?
Dex.
Yeah. What was the dirty 20? How are we versus dirty 20?
That should do it. It's 19 is the number they need to beat, right, Helene? Oh no, she froze it. I'll check her sheet. Pretty sure 19 is the number you need to beat.
19.
I killed.
Yeah, it's 19.
Okay.
I got
killed the
a
enemy,
21.
right?
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Then I just wanted to say one thing. I have a thing. I also get another attack on the next enemy.
If you kill one, you get another attack.
Yeah, I already rolled damage just in case it hits.
Perfect.
It's 20 to hit.
That is. Are you going after another one of the plants?
Yes, I like the plants.
Yep.
28 would be the total damage for that.
Perfect. You take a big chunk out of it, but it is not slain.
Yeah.
All right. Although you did damage it significantly. I have too many tabs open, which is not a challenge. It's really more of an opportunity. Okay. Let me do this here. Karrin and Kerrin. You see the elf in the middle stands up in the midst of this ice storm in everything that is raining down on him in the light that is shining. So it's kind of like if it were high noon and broad daylight, yet hail were still like pelting down on everyone here. And he stands and he says, still in Sylvan, fiends, I care not who your foul allies from the Shadowfell are. You will not take this land from us. It is ours, and the elves will rule forever. Give me a history check. Karrin.
Natural 20.
Hey, natural 20.
27.
You didn't realize at the time, because a lot was happening when you just got here. That is Prince Arraith. That is Lady Ordolf's son. And
I think at that point in Sylvan, the twins will call out, "We're here to aid you, Prince."
He turns and tries to look at you, but between all the light and the ice, it is very difficult right now. And he proceeds to attempt to attack the Dark Fae, and my luck is continuing, just missing absolutely horrifically over both of them as he just like swings at both of them. The Dark Fae, one of them reaches out and let's see. One of them like lashes forward, and you see the branch they have extends and wraps around Arraith and actually wraps around his neck. And they start to say something to him that you can't quite make out, but you see that like this wrapped around the throat is beginning to actively choke him. As she's just like, her lips are curled back and she's saying something to him that is clearly terrible. The other one, all of you actually there is no save for this. You hear
What did they hear? It's silence. There's silence in the area.
That's true. They are silent. Oh, that's got a verbal component. That's true. Hang on. Wait, let me see what they can do that doesn't have a verbal component. There may not be many things. That's what silence is for.
Ninja stuff, mostly. Ninja stuff.
It's true. Yeah, there's not many spells without a verbal component. I learned this recently when I had to fight on the bottom of the ocean. There's lots of spells that only have verbal components. Not many that have no verbal components. Yeah, no, there is not a lot of other things they can do. Hold on a second here. Okay. You are correct. They cannot do that, but what they can do is they are just going to attack the prince. And you see with that staff they've got, like they kind of pointed at him and then they open their mouth and nothing happens. And then they just whirl it with two hands and just smash it into him. And when they do, you see a bright flash of black light go off. And he makes his save there. But you see, like it very much kind of like drives him down to one knee while the other one is still pulling on him, almost like a choke chain. And the other one is just like beating on him with this staff. But that brings us back around to the top, and it is Aiden's turn.
All right, that seems like perhaps, maybe, could be wrong, a high priority. So I am going to streamline the situation. I'm gonna hit
a murder.
target.
Yeah, you're gonna streamline
I mean, like, look, that's where we're. Okay, good, cool, great. 29.
Something.
Mm-hmm. That is a hit.
Cool. So, damage yielded us 52 shiny radiance.
Let me ask you, are you going to attack the one that is choking him or the one that you attacked previously? Because those are actually two different ones.
Yeah, and while you know me, you know I live by the philosophy of focus one down, then move to the next. Mm-hmm. Again, choking seems like a priority. While I know intellectually that usually takes more than 6 seconds, I don't if they crack the windpipe, like if you do something bad to the trachea, like I don't want to worry about that. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do my part to nope at them.
Okay, and that was how much?
52 radiant.
52 radiant. Perfect.
Like my smile.
Like your smile, pirate captain.
That they do not see because I'll roll a 28 to get out of here. Oh, wait, we have Pass Without a Trace?
You do.
Oh, 38. I had too low a stealth number before.
I think that's deactivated once you attack.
Is it? Okay.
Let me check here.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right if I only have a 28 stealth. I will be okay, I promise.
You have damaged them and pieced out. You see this the other one is male presenting, has been damaged. They've both been massively damaged. Like they've been set on fire and frozen and stabbed. But are still awake and are still up. And you see both of them seem very resolute on killing this third elf here. Anything else from Aiden?
No, that's all from me.
Rayonde, it is your turn, and the twins will be on deck.
Okay, to clarify, the Pass Without Trace is not up because I did Silence instead, and they're both considered concentration spells.
Perfect, okay.
But for future reference, that's not broken by attacking. It's just a concentration spell for me because it's not invisibility. It's just plus 10 bonus to stealth.
Big chunky stealth bonus and no footprints.
So the dark fae that's doing the choking, does it look like that she's kind of out of commission or that she's locked down, that Aiden's handling it?
No, I mean they've both been now he has now attacked both of them equally once. It is the male that is choking him. The woman is hitting him with her staff. They have both been damaged significantly, but they are both very much up and fighting.
Okay.
When you have 3 plant creatures and one of those remaining is damaged, because Xander killed one and took a pretty good chunk out of another one.
I think I'm gonna just try to spread the love around the same way that Aiden did. I'm gonna start on the one that Aiden was working on, with my first attack for a stunning strike.
Well, theoretically, he's hit both. So really, is it the one that is choking the prince, or the one?
We'll start with the choking one.
Got
it. And I got a
Prince Arraith.
I got a 13 with that. That's not enough, is it?
That is not enough.
All right, so I'm gonna take my second attack.
Which you notice as you go and you throw this punch at her, your stab. You notice she just sort of like steps out of the way and she turns and she looks at you. And she says,
I should have had advantage on that because I was attacking from being unseen because I was hiding before.
Okay. Yeah.
So let me re-roll that. Okay, that's better. That's a 21.
That is enough.
Yeah.
Go on.
So that's 21 to hit, and then they have to make a
con, right?
Yeah, it's. Hold on. Where are you? I always lose this. When you're level 20, you have to scroll through so many things to find your abilities. It's DC 16 con save.
Okay. She actually made that.
Okay.
I didn't think she had more con than I thought.
All right. Well, she'll still take 9 points of damage from that hit, and I'm going to try again with the next hit. This one doesn't have advantage. That one is a 19.
That is also enough.
Okay, so again, we're trying for the stunning strike. DC 16 con save.
That time she does not make it.
Okay, so she's stunned until the end of her next turn. My next turn.
I think it's your next turn. I think we established
until the end of my next turn.
Yep.
And she takes another 7 points of damage.
Okay. You see, she turns and looks right at you and opens her mouth like she's about to say something, and you just.
Yeah, I mean, she's still silenced anyway, so this whole area is a quiet place.
It's true. Very calm.
I'm going to then, now there's not a ton of space between them, right? I can just use my normal, I have 60 feet as my normal movement. I can get over to the other one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to use Flurry of Blows to get another 2 attacks, and I'm going to start with the first one on the one I haven't stunned yet. And that is 24.
That is enough to hit him, although he does pass the save.
Okay. But
assuming you're going to try and stunning strike him.
Yeah, of course. When do I do anything else? But it is 15.
Are simply stunning.
Yeah, number 1 stunner. 15 points of damage on that guy.
Okay.
And I got one more in me to try to stun one last time.
Shout out to Manny Fresh. Yep.
That's right. 24 on that one.
That is enough to hit him. And he does make the save on the stun.
But takes another 15 points of damage from that attack.
You definitely hear a satisfying crunch when your fist stamps into him. You know, and like his eyes like clearly beginning to swell shut. But he is still up. She is stabbed, but he is still up and fighting. Okay. Karrin and Kerrin.
Well, I hope that the person choking the prince would enjoy a guiding bolt up the butt, because that's what they're about to get.
Roll it. You know, they'll try anything twice. Got to be sure.
23 to hit.
That is enough.
But not for a lot of damage, only 7.
Okay. But you see, they are like lit up and illuminated for the next person that is going to hit them. Anything else from you all?
Nope. We're just gonna be over here concentrating on our dawn.
Xander, is you're like hacking away at plant things over here. You literally see like is blast this dark fae man who just starts like glowing, like kind of looks down at himself like he doesn't understand why.
I would like to touch the glowing man with my fire sword.
Touch him with
Right.
advantage, baby.
Yeah, I'll
There it
touch
is.
him. Touching him with advantage.
Touch him with advantage.
So I was gonna say hard, but I was like, that's wrong word.
Advantage is not consent. Okay.
So I got.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Sorry. No,
No.
please, no.
So
Please.
that's advantage on rolls or
Yep,
just one?
Just the one, the first one.
Okay.
Advantage on the first roll.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna re-roll that one. That's, I guess, a little bit better. All right. So this is what I got. I got one natural 20. Hey, you know what's up? Been training all day.
Mhm.
And then I got a 27, a 17, and which one was that? And then a 33.
I'm like the 33 misses. No, yeah, those are all hits. Yeah.
These are all hits.
You're like,
you
ah!
say.
And it's just like,
And this is on that. Okay, well, give me some time to roll these damage because D&D Beyond is being really slow right now. I don't mean to call them out, but
I could be wrong, and at the risk of, you know what, they're having a hard day today. But at the risk of being overly meta, I think there's a very high chance that the Duke is about to kill that one. He may or may not, but it's odds are good, especially with a 20 included in there. So I mean, you know, you got to give me the number.
You're right.
Helene, that leaves there is the one that is stunned and 3 of the plant creatures. If you intend to take prisoners, you know, that may or may not be your style. But it is your turn.
It is Helene's style, evil Helene's style to destroy. So I would like to move to kind of get them lined up in a straight line, and then all of the lightning, which is a save.
Here, Helene, give me an insight check.
Let's see. I rolled an 18, and I have a +6 to that. Mathing 24.
You don't speak Sylvan, but you're aware when that one in the middle said something, Karrin and Kerrin seem to like respond, like they seem to care about what he had to say. Whether or not that means you should or shouldn't blast him, I leave up to you. But
I'm gonna roll one more time.
I feel as though like she should have advantage given that we've all attacked everything that was attacking that particular elf.
no, it's not whether or not she knows, it's whether or not she cares.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's a different check. It's a very different check.
In my head, I was like, if I roll high, they get blasted. If I roll low, they don't. And I rolled a 14. So that's above 10. That is in the top 10 percentile.
Helene's like, wait, hang on a second. Tell me just a second.
That won't hit any of us, will it?
No, not the lightning bolt line won't.
That's 42 lightning damage.
Well, the stun one definitely does not pass. The prince doesn't either. I think how much damage was that for you, Xander? It's 42 from Helene. How many from you, Duke?
Well, it's 98, and it has to make a wisdom save to not be frightened as well because of the menace.
He got a 1 on the wisdom, so you're like boom, 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 spit. And you hear him say something about House Kendrick, and he says it what you understand, and he turns to run away from you and like goes across.
Helene, why?
And you see both of the dark fae collapse to the ground, like burned and beaten. And you also closer to your face, D'Artagnan, to get it to focus closer to you. Yeah. And you also see Prince Arraith stands there for a second. He sees like smoke pouring off of him, and he just kind of like drops his shield, and he says to you and Sylvan, "Strange allies," and kind of just like falls to his knees and slumps over. The 3 remaining plant creatures attempt to scatter once their masters are destroyed. It's whether or not you all let them. Yep.
Yeah, get out of here, you kindling. Tired of you.
Back into the woods. And
ground.
And you all are there with the prince laying face down in the mud, with the two dark fae looking very dead.
Ooh. How's the prince looking? Let's get him out of the mud. Just flip him over, put him in a little nice pose.
Your Highness.
Burned and iced and lightning bolted it, and was in a fight before you guys got here.
Yeah,
So,
we're gonna dump a heel into this guy.
He's like the side of his face is kind of burned, some cuts, but
have a heel, brother.
How much you gonna give him?
I'm just gonna dump an actual heel, like it's 70 hit points. So
important point of clarification: are you attempting to arrange yourself to be the first thing he sees when he comes to, or how are you gonna?
I think that as Xander is kind of helping to arrange the prince, the twins actually don't stop him from doing so. They actually kind of tuck themselves up behind him over each shoulder.
I'd throw water in his face.
Yeah, so that he sees Xander first, but us second.
Do you all leave him his sword, or do you move his sword out of his easy reach before you sort of like wake him back up?
I easily deflect it. I don't know.
Yeah, we can take him if he tries to come at us, but we don't want to, there's a certain security a man feels when he has his sword nearby. It puts him at ease to think that he could attack us.
Yeah,
let's leave him that fig leaf.
False sense of security. I like it. I vibe with it.
He sits up and then like kind of puts a hand on his chest and is like, and he just turns and looks at you, Helene, for a moment, and just sort of like looks down at like the giant burn in the middle of his armor, and just sort of like rubs it slowly.
I apologize. You did a real good job dodging, though.
This is why we will never have peace with the humans.
Fair.
Ooh.
It was a human that helped to save your life.
You have the bearing of House Kendrick, no?
I am Duke Xander, and you are? Do I know him?
Now that you're getting a better look at, sorry, were Karrin and Kerrin going to tell him?
For sure. I think that as Xander was kind of helping him get situated, like Karrin would have just kind of leaned over and whispered in his ear, "Be on your best behavior. That's the prince."
Yeah. Not only is he the prince, he basically runs things for his mom. Like, she's technically in charge. She exists, but I mean, like, he's the right hand, the one that like the actual day-to-day governing is mostly him.
She's busy being aloof and elven.
Right. Exactly. And
he's the Legolas.
I offer my hand to help him up.
He sort of like looks at it for a second, and then he looks up at Karrin and Kerrin and takes the arm and like sort of stands up, and then he looks at you two, and in Sylvan again says, "Did your father send you?"
Indeed, he did not, we say back in Sylvan. We came of our own accord in order to speak with your mother. There is something very important we must speak with her about. The fate of the entire world may rest on it.
Karrin and Kerrin, give me one more history. This is something there's a chance you all would know in particular.
Hold on, math doing 22?
That is enough. I'm going to say here, I'm about to drop in our separate chat for you.
Cool.
Some things that Karrin and Kerrin would know that you may or may not discuss with outsiders. Some of this you might have hang on. It is hard spelling your name. Okay. There we are. That is information that the twins would possess.
Cool.
um, shamelessly stalling for a moment while you all assimilate that knowledge. He kind of gets to his feet and he looks down at the dark elves for a second, and you see he like kind of like grips up on his sword for a moment, and he just kind of like points to them on the ground. He's like, do you mind on occasion they come back, huh? And he sort of just like raises his sword, looking down at one of the bodies.
Please.
Head clean off, like like trimming a flower, just off of both of them. And he just kind of like shakes the blade a little bit and puts it back. Yeah, yes, Karrin and Kerrin. You were saying when you were saying we need to speak to your mother. That is some context they would possess there. Mm-hmm.
We wish to speak with her about the prophecy. We have reason to believe that the time is drawing nigh. A great threat looms, and your mother can help us.
Yeah, but why would you bring these outsiders to become involved in our business, in the business of the prophecy? How do I not know that they are not just assassins?
Well, one of them is, but he's not here to assassinate your mother, or he would not have brought him here.
Give me persuasion.
Ha! I'm real good at that, y'all. So good at persuasion. Definitely my strong suit. Charisma, out the wazoo.
I believe in you. Dice haven't been but you all are elves of noble bearing, like you know the game.
I rolled a natural one.
You know what? So did he.
It's a wash. Everybody go home.
They just sort of
Snake eyes.
They just stand there in this sort of like haughty elven standoff for a moment that they're like just going back and forth and Sylvan, and then they just look at each other while you all are standing there.
I'd like to pretend that I know what's going on, so I'm just gonna do a lot of That's what nobles do mostly.
Mm-hmm.
One way or another, I don't think we can afford to be idle. And we trust these people with our lives.
Now, in common, he says, you are a duke. Do you speak for all of House Kendrick?
I have. Yeah, I guess, kind of. Yeah, we'll go with yes.
Karrin kind of elbows him just a little bit.
Yes, I speak for House Kendrick.
He turns and he looks right at you, Helene, and he says, I do not know much of the humans of these lands, but your dress is unusual. You do not have the same bearing as these others.
Oh, yeah. I don't know much about the humans of these lands either, to be honest with you. Not really from here.
And from whence do you hail, wizard?
Oh, we could talk about that another time. Just know that I'm here to help. Lots of fire and brimstone and lightning. Just a little bit of backup muscle, whatever you need.
He just sort of like nods for a second, and he like looks at Rayonde, and he looks you up and down and looks at Aiden also, and he's like, you are Karrin and Kerrin, the diplomats, yes?
Not just diplomats.
Swear to me on the honor of your house that you are here for the good of our people and that this is not a trick.
We swear on our father's life and our father's father's life and of all of our line that we are only here to serve the greater good of our people and this plane.
He sort of like scoops his helmet and he like puts it back on, and he looks down and he says, help me bury our fallen, and I will take you to my mother. because there are other dead elves that had been there over the course of the combat. I originally said it was kind of 6-on-6, but all told, 2 more of them are still alive by the time this is all done. After you bury them, he stops and he looks at you, Karrin and Kerrin, and he's like, "Would you offer a prayer to guide them safely back to our ancestors? It is not often that we have holy persons with us."
Of course. And they will begin to say a traditional prayer. And I think that their prayers probably sound a bit like, very pretty choral singing kind of a deal.
Give me religion with advantage.
Showa.
Mm-hmm. Nice jail.
That's only a 13.
Even with advantage. You're like, this guy, am I right? I mean, this guy, am I right?
I mean, your specialty is probably elf bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs, not funerals. So
it's when you turn
our father has only taught us so much. Okay, he's not quite willing to give up the reins just yet.
I will say contextually, especially in this life, Karrin and Kerrin never truly got to live into their sellsword fantasy of seeing the world as mercenaries. But I will say you had a reading knowledge of, the elvish prayer equivalent of taps, of a military prayer. that is sufficient, And they all sort of like stand at attention here as you sort of like see off their dead. And he says, "Fine. I will escort you under one condition. You outsiders cannot know the way. You must be blindfolded while we transport ourselves there."
I love being blindfolded. Do it all the time, actually.
Yeah, you're talking to the right crowd.
Aiden, if you could get me.
Well, he motions and the remaining soldiers come and tie the blind. Unless any of you resist, they tie you up. I mean, they don't bind your hands, but they do bind your eyes.
No resisting.
No
resisting here.
The moment he has it tied up, they tie it in such a way that the blindfolds kind of go over your ears. They don't deafen you completely, but they do dull it slightly. And he says,
the twins are both keeping hold of their respective others' hands.
Yeah, they do not. Yeah, they do not bind Karrin and Kerrin. Yeah.
I guess I will not advertise that I have blind sense.
Probably best that you don't. Yeah.
I'm not going to advertise it either, but I'm going to reach for Helene's hand just with complete accuracy, even though I was nowhere near her in the beginning, and just grab her hand.
It's like grab her hand, then let go, touch your face. Oh, very dramatic. Yeah. He leans over to you and he says in Sylvan again, he says, "The beasts draw ever closer. We have obscured the entrance to the city, but somehow they get nearer to it every day. We do not know why they attack so boldly or frequently."
Could it be that the magics that protect this place, that protect many of the places on this plane, are starting to thin, weaken?
You see, he reaches inside of his breastplate and he pulls out a mirror that is hanging down on a heavy gold necklace, and he says, "I should hope not. If the prophecy is true and this is where we are to make our stand, it would be a shame were we not at our full strength." And you see, he sort of like shines it off into the distance, and you see another light shines back around you. And then you see me break everything. You see a circle appear around all of your feet. and light start to go up towards the sky. And all of you feel just a wave of warmth pass through you. And then you hear a fountain bubbling and birds singing. Karrin and Kerrin, those who could see, you realize you're standing right in the middle of Sorrowfall, which actually you all had not been here before. It's been back about 10 years or so, and you've had some diplomatic relations, but even you all had not been into the heart of it yet. It's magnificent. It is the height of elven architecture from 1,000 years ago. It is heartbreakingly beautiful to look at.
All the twins can think about are how pretty the libraries in this place must be.
You all may remove your blindfolds now. And right when you do, you hear a voice come from sort of everywhere and nowhere at once. Why are there outsiders in our sacred city, my son? Muzzers, they say they have come to speak with you regarding the direst of consequences. These two have sworn on the honor of their house. I felt it was apt to bring them to present themselves before you.
The twins bow low.
I follow suit.
You, man. And you feel just a face right next to you, Xander. You don't see her, but it's just like she's there. You are one of the human royals. Did King Darred send you here to speak on his behalf?
No, I come of my own free will.
Why?
We have a common enemy.
I find that unlikely, human.
Yes, and yet it is still true.
Rayonde, you feel like somebody's just standing right behind you. Dragonborn. Not many of you in the Moonshay Isles. Red. Even rarer. What is your business here?
I am here to make amends for some bad business dealings I was involved in the past. I owe a debt to the family of the Duke, and I see to have a lot of my misdeeds undone.
You too. And it's like her voice just sort of like shoots back and forth between Helene and Aiden. There is a darkness on the two of you.
Not the first time I've heard that.
All the more to appreciate the light.
What a colorful band to come before me. Royalties, commoners, tainted souls in the service of the light. And my own son vouching for your truth. And when she says that, she's just there in front of you. There's not a gust of wind. There's not a flash of light. She's not there, and then she's there. She stands about 6 foot tall, and she is wearing a golden gown. She's got very dark brown skin and almost impossibly long ears. And she is incredibly beautiful, but her face is just completely serious. And just authority radiates off of her. Because, for many years, the denizens of these islands have sought this, what you all have so freely acquired. They wish to negotiate, to parley. I have no interest in such things. I am here for one reason and one reason only. And she turns and looks at Karrin and Kerrin. So, speak quickly. I may be immortal, but it does not mean I have time to waste.
And the twins and Sylvan will begin to exposit on their journeys recently and the encroaching threat of Omn and of Lady Eliza.
Do you tell her about the letter?
Yes, but we do mention that we have not looked at it, and we do not know what its contents are, and we do tell her what Lady Eliza's intentions essentially were with the letter.
Give me this missive, please.
Yes, if you wish, Your Majesty.
She holds it out and she looks at it with the seal, and she sort of like turns it and looks at it for a second and just kind of holds it there and studies it for a while. And the prince, after a moment, looks at her and he's like, "Is it a problem, mother? Should I have it destroyed?" And she says, "No. This letter is not for me. It's for you." And she hands it straight out to you, Helene.
Okay. Helene will take it and open it.
When you roll it open, it just says, "My dear red wizard, our deal is fulfilled. Signed, Lady E."
Huh.
When she reads this and sort of looks at it, you all hear is like thunder crackles overhead. And the two of them stop and look upwards. And Lady Eliza looks back and she says, "My sweet boy, so foolish. Do you all know why this land is so vital? Do you know why Eliza wishes to get access to Sorrowfall?"
No, I do not.
Because it is not a portal between the prime material plane and the Feywild. It is a portal between the prime material plane and anywhere. Yes. Yes, it is. Thankfully, there was just one thing across all the worlds and planes that I could locate anywhere, and that was my dear child. And you all see a column of flame appear in the middle of the city and then dissipate. And you see a 16 tall foot man standing before you. He has long curving horns and an absolutely gorgeous face. He wears robes of incredible finery that reach all the way down to the ground, although his body is covered in open, bleeding wounds. And he looks around and says, "Yes, this will make a wonderful staging point for what is to come. Helene, my child, would you do me a favor and kill all of them?" And that is where we're going to stop for today. As Asmodeus has made his appearance on the prime material plane, and we have one more episode to bring these sweet babies to a
She's not going to do it, right? She's not going to do it.
You should have just killed Lady Eliza.
to one conclusion or another. So, hey, thank you all for watching. Again, word is there's some other show that's on tonight. So we are going to wrap this up. But join us next week for the end of our grand adventure.
The end is nigh.
The end is nigh.
Love you forever.